What's up and welcome back to the channel. The name is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel and consider joining the channel today. Thank you to everyone who supports. So here I have the first leaked images of Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Slag. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to all the Dinobots being released, and particularly in this 1986 Studio Series movie line. I have to say I'm really excited by this. This is by far some of the best stuff that Hasbro have done in a long time, which is release Transformers particularly in scale with each other, and I'm delighted to see the Dinobots finally getting what they deserve, which is large figures in comparison to some other figures, as we're going to see now in a moment. These images have come out online. It seems like they originated from 4chan. They were sent to me, and I'm delighted to share these images down with everybody. That's linked there in the right hand side, as you can see. Very much so. I think that the alternate mode here, the dinosaur mode, looks great. I like this kind of blue that they're using for the eyes. It seems kind of similarly to the sunglass sort of effect that they had for Ultra Magnus. Big, huge Autobot Tampo here on the head. I think it looks wonderful. And as we can see here, this is the Daniel figure that's going to be coming with him. Now, this Daniel figure is very much so like the Wheelie figure in that it seems to be a very minimally articulated slug figure. I think that that's quite interesting because I think a lot of people, for example, even myself included, would have preferred, say, like a flame effect to come out of the mouth of Grimlock and Slag. I think that that would have been a lot more appreciated by fans, and I think that would have harkened in to what the Dinobots did within that movie itself. I know some people have been talking about giving them swords, but I think as far as I know that the swords were only really kind of toy exclusive things that were used. They didn't really use them in the show from what I remember. But this is overall a good Dinobot mode. I like this. I like the Triceratops head. It's nice and large. I think the figure is really nicely done. And when we look at the robot mode, I think something that's really interesting for a lot of people is this. You have the red head. Now, the red head is something that usually gets omitted, particularly in the robot mode, but they have gotten it right here, and this is very accurate to the G1 cartoon. I'm delighted by this. As you can see here, he comes with a gun. I think that's great to see, but also, like I said, I'm kind of surprised that Hasbro have been very much so interested in using effects in their figures over the last month, and certainly within the last couple of months, that I'm very surprised not to see them use effects here with the Dinobots. A flame effect for these guys, you could have even re-released that 4 times, that same flame effect, and gotten away with it, particularly because all the Dinobots use it. And I know the first thing that's going to come up to people's mind is, hey, that's Grimlock, that's the leader of the Dinobots. Why is Slag the same size as him? Well, in the G1 cartoon show, it is shown on numerous occasions that they are the same height, and it's only Slag's hood that actually makes him stand somewhat taller, if you want to count it like that. But head to head, they're all the same height, all of the Dinobots, so we should be seeing leader class figures for all of the Dinobots. There shouldn't really be a mix and match between the scales of each one. It's possible that they could release Swoop as a Voyager class figure. It is very possible they could do that, and they could package him maybe in Pteranodon mode. But given the fact that most of the time now when they're releasing the figures, they're actually releasing them in robot mode, I would highly doubt that. So I would expect Swoop to actually stand the same height as the others. I like the scale here. As we can see, Grimlock is bigger than Prime, who's bigger than Hot Rod, who's bigger than Hover. This is something that I'm a big fan of here with the Transformers universe that they've done, and this is a big credit under John Warden. John Warden was the one to introduce the idea of scale for these Transformers figures, and I love it. I think a lot of people, for example myself included, when you look back at G1, yes, there was inconsistencies with the scale, but there are scale charts that are out there that do label the scales of these figures, and I have to say they've gotten them very accurately done. I have to say it looks like a simple transformation, which you would expect really with the Dinobots, because they did all really have very simple transformations. So once they're not going too far away from what we already know, particularly with the Dinobots, and that it's basically just flipping up the wings, the legs become the arms, the legs again become the legs. You just flip out pieces here, maybe a bit of a twist, and then you have the mouth flip down, and then there you go, you have him transformed. It's very simple. Leader class price point. I think that's why they're probably adding in the likes of the Slug figures, the likes of Daniel and the likes of Wheelie. It'd be interesting to see who comes with the likes of Swoop and maybe even Snarl and Sludge. I'd be curious to see if they decide to put some other Slug figures in there. You could see maybe an Alpha Trion, I'd say, maybe in there. You could see possibly Spike, that could be in there. I think the options are limitless really for that. I think for the Slug figures within this, I think they could get away with maybe again if they re-release the Daniel figure as Spike, because Spike did have an exosuit within the movie. Maybe they might make it a little bit bigger. I would have liked those Slug figures to be a little bit more articulate, and similarly I would have liked to see Wheelie be transformable. I will say that. I think the scope was there, particularly when you're looking at the likes of the core class figures, for example, and other smaller figures that we have had. I think we should be getting transforming figures, but that's just what we're getting with this line. Overall though, I have to say, very excited by this. Looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward then to completing all of the Dinobots. Can you imagine when you have Swoop, when you have Sludge, and hopefully even Snarl that's going to come within this line? It'd be absolutely wonderful to see. Now I am aware Snarl didn't feature in the 1986 movie, but he was in the TV series, so I'd be curious to see if they put him maybe into a Kingdom line, or if they're going to put him into an 86 movie line, and what way they're going to work it around that, because again, like I said, he didn't feature within the movie. So anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Consider joining the channel today. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later. Till all I want. Good luck.